Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you need to develop into a better leader, this podcast is for you. If you want to achieve a greater level of success, this podcast is for you. His mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, said it best: everything rises and falls on leadership. We hope to inspire you today and provide you with an insight that has the potential to positively impact the trajectory of your life. Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast.
What would you say is the secret to your success? Now, you've got your own company now. You had a great career in the Navy and all of the lives you are touching right now. And I see that you volunteer quite a bit too. So what's the secret of your success, you think?
Yeah, the secret is truth. I lead with truth, and I lead in truth. And truth is the basis and foundation of my leadership. If it's not true, then it's not being done. And that's been it. And people appreciate that, because one thing that you can do as a leader that could really be detrimental is to live in and lead in lies. Yeah, people
Yes.
do not appreciate that. Now, they may have a challenge with lying or sharing lies, but they don't appreciate a leader that leads that way. And so that's where you see the major pain points of most people in corporate or in private, is that they have leaders that lead in the midst of lies.
Wow.
And so that has been my biggest gain, is that I embrace truth and I live it and I lead by it.
Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, because eventually it will always.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into a fascinating conversation around leadership inspired by Enrique Acosta Gonzalez's journey. From a Navy veteran overcoming early rejections to a powerhouse leader building Triad Leadership Solutions.
I'm excited about that. There's so much raw authenticity in his story and leadership philosophy that really fires me up.
Absolutely. You know, one of the most striking parts is how Enrique transformed rejection, like not making the Air Force, into a whole career rich in purpose in the Navy. That pivot really set the tone for his entire leadership journey.
Yeah, it's remarkable how setbacks become stepping stones when you have the right mindset. And he takes that further by emphasizing truth in leadership. It's not about faking it, but living it.
Exactly. He says, you can fake leadership, but eventually the truth comes out and your people know if you're authentic. That message resonates deeply in both military and civilian circles. It's a call for genuine influence.
You know, I've also been thinking about his take on mentorship. It's like his entire transition from military to civilian work was fueled by the desire to mentor and empower others. It's a reminder that leadership isn't practiced in isolation.
Right on. And what really gets me is his idea of living your legacy. He encourages folks, whether you're a junior officer or a tech professional, to use your current role as a proving ground.
Yeah.
It's about transforming setbacks into opportunities for growth.
Let me ask though, Do you think this insistence on living truthfully can sometimes be a bit too idealistic in our fast-paced corporate environment? I mean, can there be a practical balance?
That's a good challenge. I mean, sure, integrity can seem um, expensive if you're chasing quick results, but Enrique's point is that without truth, every subsequent success is hollow.
Exactly.
In environments like cybersecurity and tech leadership, even a slight misstep in ethics can have massive repercussions.
And that ties into his emphasis on self-leadership, right? Before you can lead others, you have to master yourself, understanding your own fears and weaknesses, and then transforming those into strengths.
Yes, yes. It's like you have to plant your face in the ground every morning. Get that moment of gratitude and self-awareness before you're off
Right.
solving problems. It's a humble start that grounds you for the day ahead.
And speaking of transformation, I loved how he used his personal experiences, like struggling with his accent and even facing rejection from a senior leader, to fuel his development as an effective mentor. He turned those challenges into teaching moments.
Yeah, it's inspiring. He literally said he was challenged for his way of speaking, and that pushed him to refine every aspect of himself. It's like he wasn't willing to let someone else define him, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's a journey from self-doubt to self-mastery.
And then there's his ongoing commitment to learning. He's not just resting on his Navy laurels. Today, he's embracing leadership in a broader context, mentoring veterans and tech professionals alike. It's like he's continuously reinventing what leadership means.
Definitely. It almost sounds like his entire career is a masterclass on resilience and reinvention. He's taken critical lessons, like the need to be visible and claim your accomplishments honestly, and used them to empower others.
Right.
It's that principle of, if it's not in your record, it didn't happen, that stands out so strongly.
Yes, and that idea of sharing credit while taking full responsibility for mistakes, it's a leadership hallmark, helping build trust and real influence.
And then there's his perspective on failure. He sees it not as a dead end, but as a door. Sure, sometimes that door seems locked, but there are other doors waiting. He challenges us to
exactly.
embrace failure as a protective mechanism rather than a mark of helplessness.
I really appreciate that. It shifts the focus from fear to opportunity. And speaking of fear, he talks a lot about the importance of not being afraid to be you, to be honest, even if it means showing vulnerability.
Yeah, yes. That vulnerability is essential. It's refreshing in an era where so many leaders put up facades. Enrique's approach is all about authenticity, living true to who you are in public and in private. And that's why his transition into the corporate world, as well as creating his own company, really feels natural.
Not to mention his book, Latinos 100, Living Our Legacy and Inspiring the Next Generation. It's a powerful compilation that shows leadership isn't just about personal success, but also about giving back to your community.
Absolutely. That book encapsulates so much of his journey, from his roots in Puerto Rico and the Bronx to becoming a revered mentor and leader. It sends a vital message for minorities and veterans alike. Your past does not define you, your growth does.
I love that message. And it's so timely too, especially now as many are questioning what legacy means in a rapidly changing world.
Exactly, and his reflections on balancing personal life with professional commitments, how he credits his family as his most rewarding achievement, really bring it all back to the core of true leadership. It reinforces that success
absolutely.
isn't just measured in accolades or positions, but in the relationships we nurture.
Speaking of relationships, his advice around investing in coaches and mentors is so practical. I mean, can you imagine trying to navigate your leadership path without someone who's been there before?
No, it would be like trying to go far without a map. Enrique emphasizes that even the most experienced leaders benefit from someone who challenges or helps connect the pieces of your potential. And honestly,
Right.
that's a reminder to all of us to keep learning continuously from books, from peers, and even from our setbacks.
And I really appreciate his perspective on visibility, not to mistake self-promotion for vanity, but to ensure your good work gets recognized so that others can learn from it.
Yes, it's that balance of humility and visibility. He reminds us that if we don't make our successes known, they simply vanish from our records.
True.
That's why he urges leaders to step out from the shadows and share their wins.
While that does sometimes run the risk of coming off as overly self-congratulatory, his approach is grounded in genuine service to others. I mean, his focus on uplifting his community, whether in the Navy or among tech professionals, makes it all the more inspiring.
Absolutely. It's all tied back to authenticity. The idea is not to boast for the sake of boasting, but to light the way for others who might be hiding their potential out of humility. That's why his mentoring and coaching are so impactful.
And isn't that the core of effective leadership? Not just directing, but genuinely connecting and inspiring others to live out their values and dreams.
Exactly. And one thing that really stands out is how his leadership isn't just about the business or military strategy. It's deeply personal. His daily ritual of gratitude and prayer shows that real leadership begins internally.
That's key. I agree. And it ties into the idea that you can't lead others properly if you haven't learned how to lead yourself. That self-awareness is foundational, whether you're managing a team, on a ship, or in a tech office.
And let's not forget his coin of wisdom about don't be afraid. It's almost like a mantra, do it scared. That willingness to carry on despite fears, even in the face of failure or personal loss, is what truly shapes resilient leaders.
Absolutely. I mean, when you hear him talk about his spirit in embracing failures as doors, sometimes closed for a reason, it transforms the narrative around setbacks. Instead of letting failure paralyze you, it pushes you to open the next door.
So, to wrap it up, Enrique's story teaches us that leadership, in its most honest form, is a continuous journey of growth, self-awareness, and authenticity. It's about embracing our past without letting it define our future, investing in ourselves through coaching, and always leading with truth. And it reminds every aspiring leader to step up and share their light, regardless of the challenges thrown their way.
Definitely needed. So what is one action you are thinking about taking that you think might positively impact your life?
I just started a publishing company. Imagine that.
Yay!
Literally today, I got the EIN for it. And
Awesome.
so what I suggest, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of doing what you think you're afraid of. Go for it. And I'm going to tell you, Adriana Rosales is the reason why I'm going down this journey. If it wasn't for her, she was an Air Force vet as well, right? She worked for the Space Force before it was Space Force.
Yes.
And she's been doing that. She's also a John Maxwell leader. And she's been doing that for a while, but by God's grace and guidance, she led me to this.
Speaking with Enrique Acosta Gonzalez today, this is what I've learned. You cannot wait until you are ready. You've got to do it scared. Do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. You won't always know where it's going, but you know what? You don't have to. If God puts something on your heart, start right now. Start a book, launch a business, apply for the role, share your story. The dream doesn't need your perfection, it just needs your yes.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our channels and come back for more wisdom nuggets on how you may develop into a better leader and achieve greater levels of success. Leadership is the most critical skill. The world will always need leaders to lead others, deploy the next disruptive technology, or execute a business strategy. You may as well decide on counting yourself among the 21st century leaders. See you right here next time on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.